Pond Offs Anonymous is brought to you in part by McKelvey Insurance. Let's be honest, insurance sucks until you need it. That's why I fuck with McKelvey Insurance. These folks aren't just slinging quotes like robots. They're actual humans who solve real problems. Whether it's personal or commercial insurance, McKelvey works with over 30 companies to make sure you've got the best coverage at the best price without the bullshit. You're not just a number to them. They build real relationships. So when life changes, or your rates do, they've got your back. They'll shop around again and again to make sure you stay protected without ever overpaying. Call or text 618-623-0080 or hit up McKelveyINS.com. That's McKelvey, McKelveyINS.com. McKelvey Insurance. Quick solutions to real-life insurance problems. Anywhere in Illinois or Missouri. Guys, let me tell you about my good friends at Light Source. Light Source Psychotherapy in Belleville, Illinois is a small group practice committed to providing individual, group, and family therapy, as well as clinical and reflective supervision to those in the helping field. Check them out at findyourlightsource.com. They're the best in the business, my friends. I know them personally and well enough to tell you and put my name and word on it. If you're struggling with mental health, family issues, addiction, grief, you name it, give my friends Chaz and Holly a call. Their private practice is life-saving, and they will help you find your light.
Yeah. I'll react if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to. I'll react if I had to. Put some things in the past too, and don't let them distract you, but react if you have to, yeah. React if you have to, yeah. Don't know the time, yeah. Just know that I'm, yeah, one of a kind, yeah. What's on your mind, yeah. What hard to find, yeah. Beautiful mind, yeah. Still in my prime, yeah. Just know that I'm here.
All right, what's up, everybody? We're back. Pond Offs Anonymous episode, whatever the fuck.
31. I was going to say 34. I was pretty close.
Math was never your major.
About as close as you've ever gotten to the number.
But you went over, so you don't get the Showcase Showdown.
Yeah. We weren't on last week because it was our Labor Day.
Yeah, Labor Day, and the guy that we were going to have on was kind enough to reschedule. You know, it's always like we can do it, and then Labor Day comes, and you're like, man, we should probably give these guys who aren't getting paid for anything to do any of this time and work a break.
I worked on Labor Day.
Of course you did. Here he comes.
I did too. But with that said, I'm just glad to not have
Listen
to do
these two fucking heroes, Tyrone. We had I rushed here tonight from a golf tournament from the Megan Meier Foundation, so I want to give them a shout out. Awesome turnout, and they really dialed up the weather for today. It was like 72, and the wind was perfect. It was awesome.
Not a golfer, but that feels like it would be awesome.
It's the best possible weather to golf in. So, and it really helps when you are a shitty golfer not to give a fuck about your shots.
Right.
So we played, IRC represented in that podcast because of Tina and her stuff, and I mean coming on the podcast and talking about her foundation. And they're doing great work. There was some pretty fucking cool stats on the amount of like free counseling they're giving to kids, especially in the schools for the anti-bullying and all that. So great stuff. Saw Iggy. He's a big he's on the board.
Yeah.
And then we have some cool stuff coming up. We're like booked out from guests, starting with our esteemed, that I'll introduce in a second, esteemed colleague Tyrone Hill, who is kind enough to join us tonight. We have, but each Monday, I think almost through October's got a guest lined up. So that's awesome. But I had so much fun last week with our our bullshit show.
Right.
We might have to do like two shows. One that's just us, fucking around with each other, and then the other one where we have a guest coming on and bearing their soul like we have tonight. So
I like that.
Tyrone Hill, thank you for joining us.
Hey man, I'm excited about this. So
we've just met. I'm turning on my little stopwatch. It keeps me. Tyrone said he didn't want to be here till 10 o'clock tonight. So I can fucking ramble. I don't know if it's an Italian thing or what, but man, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Jacob's like, we got to get Tyrone on. And I haven't. This is our first time we've met. I want you to talk about a lot tonight, but start off with, is it Amari that I've heard of, but don't know much about? Shame on me. So I'm excited to learn what it's about. I know you is it a podcast too?
No.
Oh, no.
I thought you did a podcast with a guy from Amari.
Oh, no, that was with Ty.
With Ty, he had it.
It was a separate thing.
Who founded Amari.
Okay.
He founded, created Amari.
Is he close enough to the mic?
Pull that
Hold
mic
on,
up a little
Tyrone.
bit.
Put the mic right in your mouth, Tyrone.
Yep.
Right there.
Yeah, right about there.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah, he founded and created Amari. It was all his vision. He's no longer with us. He's doing other things now.
Okay, he's still alive. Wait, you said that? Shit.
No. He's very much alive and he's very much involved with the recovery community.
Great.
Very passionate about it. And he has his own. He has a podcast. That might have been a radio show.
It was a radio show.
That's
right.
right.
That was the radio show he was on.
Or he had both. I think he has a radio show and a podcast.
He was beginning a podcast, but I don't know if he was more traction with the radio show he was doing. Yeah, and he would have us on. So I remember Jakob.
Right. Yeah. And now if you have a radio show, it should be a podcast too.
No, I think it was because I've done the podcast.
There was a podcast.
Yeah, it was a podcast.
It was two, because I've been on
Recovery
it twice.
Uncensored.
Yeah, so I've been on a podcast and then the radio show.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Well, let's start with your story and then weave in Amari. And Amari's a nonprofit. Is that correct? Right.
Yes, sir.
Well, real quick, what's the mission?
So Amari and our mission is to bring recovery support to those who, much like here at IRC, I would say 90-some% of our staff are in recovery.
Yeah.
With lived experience, and the other part of it has dealt with it with family members or something, right? So we're coming from a aspect of the lived experience and just trying to help guide individuals through that. Still suffering, in treatment, after treatment, right? Like, I have individuals that I still work with, been working with for like 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just those boundaries. Like, you'll hear when I get a little bit more into I spent a lot of years out in the streets. So I understand those, the misconceptions and the no trust issues and things like that. You know what I mean? So helping guide, my mission is I'm not going to say my mission. Our mission is to sit down with individuals and find out what recovery looks like for that individual. And how can we help them? Because it's not a cookie cutter model anymore. You know what I'm saying? So how can we help you? And that's even in the beginning of meeting Jakob and Eric is why, and Ty was still with us at the time. When first time I met them, I went back and said, hey, look, dude, I don't know how or why or whatever, but we have to be involved or in that right there, because you felt that genuineness of where we come from. So
Eric, I was golfing with him today, and he was like, I'm like, well, come. He was like, that's my boy. You make sure you tell him how tight we are. I'm like, of course. Fuck Eric. All right. I'll blow you again. No, but he loves you. He was so jacked that we were having you on. And Eric pops in every once in a while. I know he's got a lot of irons going on with.
I keep up with y'all. I watch a few of y'all episodes.
Okay.
I've seen Jacob's, I've seen Eric's, I've seen Megan's, who was a real good friend of mine.
Okay.
Since I've been in recovery, I've known her.
All right.
She used to be, she was the cookie lady. I'll just say
she's
it like
my,
that.
she's Megan's our only two-timer.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that she cheated on me.
And I remember,
she would have if she dated me. She would have cheated on me for sure.
And I guess it was the last time then she wasn't even recorded on video.
Yeah, Jeff fucked that up.
I did, yeah. Whoops.
We docked his pay for it too.
Yeah.
I know, I had to call her.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, I'm sorry.
Yes, we're gonna do some more with with Megan soon as we're able to pour more into this. We kind of talked about it last week on like vision and where we see this short, midterm. I don't like to say long term because when you say have a long term vision, it's like, what does that mean? And then for me personally, I never get to it. So a short, midterm. If I say long term, I'm procrastinating. Like I'll do that later, and later, next thing you know, I'm planning my funeral. But there's a lot of Megan's a fucking. I think she's a superhero in this space, and
I love her.
She's gonna be excited that you're coming on too. So, when did it start for you? I don't want to play. You know, it didn't work for our carnivals. I don't want to play guess the age, but you what are you 42?
I'm 51, man. Right. I'm 51. So
you look wise and mature.
Thank you.
Unlike Jakob.
Nicest way of calling somebody that looks old.
Not as old as Mike. I think I chirped Mike, but I listen, man. Because I look in this chair and I just can't wait. I just imagine the wisdom and life experience you have. So I'm excited to hear about it. I think we all are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
it started. Yeah. Take us to the beginning, man.
So I'm from a little small. Well, y'all know it. It's not like y'all not from me. I'm from Centralia.
Okay.
I was born in Centralia. I'm from the land of the orphans.
The orphans. I was just going to say that.
America's most winningest high school basketball team. Let me just put that out.
Is that a true statement?
It's a true statement.
No shit.
Look it up. I'm not saying we got.
I believe you.
I'm not saying we got a lot of championships, but we are. I mean, we go back and forth. It's a team down in Tennessee somewhere that we go back and forth with on that stat. But we've for a while.
You make a career out of beating the fucking brains in of Mount Vernon. Is that your rival?
That kind of goes. That's a long time rival. That goes back and forth, man. That goes back and forth.
100%. If you Google that, it comes up as that's a true fact.
He's over here checking you.
He said to look it up, so I looked it up.
Yes, that is.
I love it. So anytime I meet someone from Centralia, I'm like, oh, the orphans, and they it's still that.
Yeah. So I'm an orphan, but. My family's, both sides, my mom and dad's side, they're from there. My father was in the military, so I'm an Army brat. So as a youngster, I've been, we travel, I've been, Colorado, Fort Benning, Georgia, somewhere in California. I was in, Hawaii and, Germany.
Oh, wow.
Places and I think those situations right there as a youngster allows me today to, communicate. And even in my addiction, like I was one of those guys that could, we was just talking before the pilot, like where not to go. I was able to go to those places and be okay because I knew how to, you know what I'm saying? And people would, that's all right. That's, so,
sure.
But
it fit in,
when,
right?
when you become, I learned very quickly when you become the foreigner and you don't speak the language, you understand the empathy of that when you're here.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and I learned that as a child, and being an Army brat as well, when you're living on these bases and you're living in these situations, you don't really get what's going on outside of there because this is a whole, they're a family. It don't matter where you come from, what your background or none of that. Kids are kids.
Sure.
These guys' missions bring each soldier home, you know what I'm saying? And that's just what it was. So I never really felt, the outside stuff till we did come back. I came back from Germany. I was going into the 5th grade.
Okay.
Right around the time. So I was born in the year that hip hop started. So, I like to say I'm a hip hop baby.
All right.
Right around the time when breakdancing and all that, you know what I'm saying? And my uncle in Centralia, my uncles and them, they owned the tavern, and he was the chef, and I grew up in there, so I seen all, the hustlers and the slicksters, and I got to see all that kid running around in there, and I think that's what the attraction was, seeing the dice games and things like that.
All
know what I mean?
Like to the life is what you're saying.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah. So, I was playing sports and stuff back then. I played football. I played basketball as a freshman. I didn't go nowhere as I played football. Actually, our freshman team was undefeated. you know, just doing stuff that we do as kids, you know, coming from those small towns, you know, hit the back roads and, you know, do what we do.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, get after it.
Yeah. You know, so, but I
This is back in Centralia when you got back from Germany?
This was Central, but not as soon as I, you know, like I said, I was like 5th grade. So I'd say junior high, 7th, 8th grade is when I was really dipping and dabbing.
Okay.
You know, dipping in and out, you know, or seeing certain things or hanging places. You know what I mean? It's a different time back then too, where, you know, we was outside. We didn't have internet. We didn't have all that. So when you got outside, you was outside. We didn't see our parents till it was time to go in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Come home
so
after
there's no telling what we had been doing.
Sure.
You know? So, you know, just hanging out. And like I say, you know, the attraction of, you know, the street guys and things like that, you know, and getting in, dipping and dabbing, selling, you know, smoking weed.
Yeah, I was going to say,
selling.
are we talking booze and weed at this point?
Yeah, smoking weed and stuff. And as high school came around, you know, getting introduced to cocaine, and not even on the using tip, more of the I remember back then, man, it would be parties and like these high. I'm kind of glad they don't have these type of parties. They may do it, I don't know, but you know, and all this stuff was floating around.
Sure,
you know, but I like this. And I always say, like, no question that we were playing a game with our life then, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think more you kind of. It's crazy to say this. Drugs were more safe. And that's crazy to say.
I was talking about it today at the golf tournament.
That's real crazy to say, you know, but I believe it in back in that time they were. You know, you kind of knew where it's coming. You knew what was like today. I'd be so afraid for these youngsters because you never know what they're getting. I don't know, and I know Jakob could probably attest to this, how many people come through and it's time to drop when you first come in and like, you know, well, I've only been doing meth and, you know, take a drop and it's like 9 different substances in their system.
Right.
And they really don't know that.
What he means by drop?
Urine sample.
Yeah, piss test. Well, Jeff,
I actually did know that one.
Jeff's learned or not. You know, he's our surrogate audience because he doesn't have. He's not an addict.
I see y'all get on Jeff all the time.
Yeah,
not for, you know, being a square. He can handle his alcohol.
and in the midst of all that, I also got him. You know, I was involved with gangs and stuff like that.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And I from about 14 till I got clean, which is 6 years, about six and a half years ago now.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. That's what I was going to ask. How long?
6.5 years ago.
Congrats, man.
April 10th, 2019. From like 14.
You got to witness. You got clean just in time for a Stanley Cup run.
Yeah, I believe so.
April 10th. That's right when the playoffs started.
Yeah,
my man.
Yeah. And yeah.
I'm telling you, I was the only sober guy, and I feel like it at fucking me and you now. It was when I hear 2019, I think of 2 things. I think of the Stanley Cup, and I think it was the last year before the fucking shit hit the fan with the pandemic.
Yeah.
Which, to your point, I want to ask you about this as we're just bullshitting. Like, that's a scary time to get clean, like right in, because less than a year later, the world was shut down. Man. And
shut down, and I was in I was in a recovery house. You know
Were
what
you?
I'm saying? So yeah. Changed and
just changed all our routines and shit like that. But so 14 to 2019. I mean, that's 40 years.
I was 46. So 46 when I went to treatment for the first time ever.
Really?
So I know we're gonna dip back and forth. So I can say, you know, so for 25 years of that, I was in and out of jails and prisons. I've been to prison 8 times, man. In Illinois, I've been to prison once in Missouri.
For slinging dope or
Well, that's what they said. But I mean, I was an addict.
Plead the fifth, brother.
It's never been. I mean, I had an aggravated battery. I was like 17. It was a fight. Kids fighting. And I got an aggravated battery. And actually, honestly, I wasn't even there at that time. You know what I'm saying? It was just the crew I was hanging with, and I'm the one that got pointed out. But it's been. I look at it now as like situations like that. It's like, who do I have to blame because I put myself in positions for that to be able to happen to me. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Like I'm not that guy that, them or them. No, even my times going to prison, cause there's probably, there is some things that could have happened that would have changed the whole trajectory of that. You know what I mean? So I don't cry, one thing, my father, again, I get this out there right now. My father is my superhero. He's the greatest man I knew. You know what I'm saying? My father never did none of the things that I've done. I remember him back probably Germany or Hawaii in the military. They were smoking weed. When the military started, urine samples.
No, you can talk. It's like to translate.
No,
we talk
to Jeff too. But when he quit that. You know what I mean? And I remember in Germany, like Germany was probably my first real. I remember as a kid, Grandpa and them having beer, Pabst Blue Ribbon and stuff like that. But Germany. That's a different level of beer. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a kid.
It's got more ass behind it.
Yeah. And my dad they had, like, in America, we had the milkman. Remember those back in the day? Where you leave the milk bottles out and
my grandpa used to get from Farm Fresh.
Yeah, so Germany had the beer man that done that. You know what I'm saying? You leave the old bottles out. So my dad.
Bring you new beer.
Yeah, my dad would, get them, and I remember popping one of them, and drinking probably half of it or whatever and putting water in it, and I was like, my dad, by the time he got home, he's like, what's wrong? I was like done.
Yeah.
So that was probably my first experience of really feeling the
I have
a
vision of your father as like a hard ass army guy. I mean, is that not the case?
No, not at all.
I always like some my friends that grew up and if their dad was in the service and then I think army, I'm like, oh, he was probably a hard ass.
No, and he's infantry. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he was infantry. But no, one thing, that's why I say he's my, I've said he's.
And that's not a shot. That's just that, how military guys are make your bed.
He is a no bullshit, hold yourself accountable for your actions, guy.
Sure. Okay.
And that's an
arm. Yeah.
When I began to do the things that I was doing, that was a conversation he had with me probably around 15, 16 years old, that he said, hey, look, if that's what you're going to choose to do, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be accountable for that. You know what I'm saying? That's not my shit. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand on your neck 24 hours a day or none of that. He never loved me no different. He never, but I understood and respected because I knew my dad.
Is he still with us?
Oh yeah.
All right, great.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
That's my guy. But like, and I go back to the superhero thing. As a kid, right? Spider-Man, Superman and all that. But watching my dad, and my dad is like, he stays super sharp. His military uniform, creased up, boots shining. When he came through the door, that was like, that's my superhero. You know what I mean? So, and my dad wasn't never. This is where you talking about the hard ass. My dad has never been big on verbal lessons. It's more of me watching the man that he was.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have our conversations and stuff, but he's not big on the
lead by
he
example.
Ain't big on I told you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's more big on fuck around and find out. You know what I mean? And I never going to prison and all that, I never this is a crazy thing. I never had him come visit me or not, because he told me like I'm not doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I respected that. The one time he did come, I had him come visit when the first Gulf War, when they invaded Saddam the first time, the Iraq and Iran stuff.
Like 92?
Yeah. They activated his, because he was by that time he was in the reserves, because he did the remainder of his career in the reserve. And they activated him. He was in Kuwait. He was in Kuwait at the base where they dressed and put the flags on the fallen soldiers and sent them back, right? And I happened to call my grandma, and I was like, you talk to Dad? She was like, he's home right now for 2. I said, tell him to come up because he's over there. So it's like, I know that me and him was on the same page because he came. Like, he usually would never. You know what I'm saying? He came. So we said, and it was like anything could happen in that situation.
And you were in behind bars.
I was in Lawrence Correctional Center. Yep. And that's the first time you ever, you know.
That Eastern Illinois?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, right by, what is it, Summer?
It's right close to the Indiana border?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Because we actually, the TV and all that was on East Coast time. We got Indiana.
Oh, no shit. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard of Lawrence. Did that, I mean, I'm just curious how, like, he's getting ready to leave for, I mean, I remember as a real little kid that being on the TV, the first, like, experience with the war, and I just always remember that it was always night, and they'd show you'd see it looked like fireworks. It was just all the bombs, and I mean,
that was my thought of when I heard he was home. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm over here with y'all,
right?
I see, but he's there.
We're watching the same shit, yeah.
So we're seeing.
So he came and visited you before he went.
Yeah, no, he was home for a 2-week leave.
Oh, okay.
From over there,
and he
so
came
he
to
got
see you.
to come home. It was like around Father's Day, and I happened to call my grandma, his mom, and she said he's home, and I told him come see me, and he came.
How
up
old were you
at that time?
Yeah.
Let me see. When was that?
Like 19, 20?
No. I was older than that, and that was no, that wasn't 90 something. That was actually that's the wrong one. Matter of fact, that was actually the beginning of the last war, the beginning of it. Not in the 90s, the 2000s something.
Okay, so the George W, not his old man.
George W. Bush.
Yeah,
that was the beginning of that one, actually. The Gulf War.
Yeah, because I was like, I was thinking.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah, you're correct.
Well,
I'm glad you said that because like 92. Yeah, I was.
You're 10 years older than I am.
I was
not to age you, not to remind you.
Hey man, I'm grateful, but I was probably at that time close to 30.
Okay.
In my 20,
So I mean, so you're an adult, and he's coming and seeing you on the leave, and that going to hot zone shit.
Yeah,
like that's gotta.
Yeah.
I mean, that's gotta sit with you, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And it's the only time he ever visited you.
Only time I probably would have ever asked him. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? Because I know that's just, it's something he don't do.
I don't know your whole story yet, Tyrone, and getting to get a lot into it tonight and glimpses, and they make movies out of that shit, like where when dad comes home around Father's Day from a war to go and visits his son, who's now, and the ending is maybe you being 6.5 years clean and helping people, but like what a moment that seems fucking pivotal.
Yeah, and like today, like I'm a 12-stepper, you know what I'm saying? I'm big in my recovery, but my father is that one guy that I've never felt the need for a verbal amends,
Okay.
And we talk, we have our but I know just from our conversations that living amends is what it is for him. Because he tells me, I'm proud of you. Keep doing what I knew when you told me such and such. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's where it comes. I know that I don't have, if I was to say, hey, Pops, I'm sorry, he'd be like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
I'm like falling in love with your old man the more you talk about him.
Yeah.
And you said it. I mean, that's how you described him a couple minutes ago. That makes complete sense.
Yeah.
That he's an action guy. And
yeah, that's what it is. Fuck what you're talking about.
Right.
He sees you know what I'm saying? And that's what, for me, that's what, I did.
I love that, man.
Certain things that I've done in my, since being clean and in my recovery, and maybe post about and see his comment. Like, it's like I go on there looking and his comment is doing, and I'm like, yeah, yes.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
What really tailspinned my nosedive to rock bottom was when my old man died, and he was my superhero. And so I really just hearing you talk about your dad, I love it and connect with it, and just can understand what you're saying. And I don't
but I
know how it feel like
going back. Like I said, I know we're gonna go back and forth, right?
Yeah.
But I know that like you talk about the rock bottom, and that was part of my rock bottom.
Got to get there to do where we're at.
So my last prison sentence. So I say 4 or 5 years before I got clean. The wheels were turning.
Yeah.
Like I was like this. Like we all know how it goes. Those of us who suffer from it, we know. Like at some point, it's not shit fun about it no more. At some point, you're not getting high. Right. You're surviving. And I was at that stage where it was just surviving life, right? And I had made myself okay with this is what it is, right? But I just like something different has to happen, So on that so going back to him not coming to see me, I also would never ask him to parole to his house, right? Because I've never took what I did in the streets to my dad's house. I wouldn't do that, right? So on that I called him and said, because they were sending me on house arrest. I was like, Pop, is it all right? Can I come to your house? I got house arrest. And I felt like, because I wanted to change, right? I wanted to do something different. And I'm like, I'm not going to bring that shit to my dad's, right? Right. And he let me, you know what I'm saying? He was retired. He retired from the military and the state of Illinois. So, he's retired and everything. And, man, first night I was high.
Really?
At my dad's house. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about first night.
On what?
Heroin.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So heroin. I was gonna.
I am a through and through heroin addict. You know what I'm saying? But this is also around the time that fentanyl is starting to become more integrated into, and sure. I hate fentanyl. Personally, it's like a medical high to me, and I never like pills or none of that. You know what I mean? Those that know what I mean, right?
We say a lot on here, and I was just talking about it with one of the whole sponsors. We came up to it today, and they were asking who we were and about us, and he was like, "Yeah, I hear it's really bad." I go, and then that's when we all started talking about how scary it is, and I've heard Eric say it 100 times. Jakob said it 1,000 times on the show. We wish we could go back to black tar heroin because
it's sad that
less deadly.
Like I said a few minutes ago about, I really hate to say it, but dope was more cleaner back then. It's crazy that for us to say something so horrible for us was better back then. You know what I'm saying? But it's real. But
we had a guy from Channel 4. He's done some commercials out here, and he came. We were giving him a tour, and I remember he said to him, "You remember when Grandma used to tell us, don't take that shit on the streets. You never know what's in it." Yeah, it's more true today than it ever fucking has been. And to your point, and now
I love seeing y'all fucking commercial. I tell my wife all the time, "It's my office."
nice. Yeah. Eric looks good on that commercial.
Yeah, he hates it too. He hates it.
He'll kill me for saying this. They do put a little makeup on them before. Yeah. No, they don't. I'm just fucking with them.
But so while I was staying at his house and stuff, and I'm back full blown doing well. And I know. So one of the biggest lies that I look back now, and I look at people that I love and people on the streets that still get high, and how we would be around our family and say, "Oh, I'm good," and the movements and things that we did, right? I know now that my family just loved me because I know they were saying themselves, "This motherfucker's out of his mind." Right? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking at people now like, who the fuck are you talking to?
You're not kidding anybody, right? You're not fucking kidding anybody.
Yeah, but that's what was going on in my. But so just real.
That's so funny shit.
I OD'd, right? And I
the first night.
No, not that first night. I was there for a few months.
I hear that's the. This is what we talk about. That's like the overdose of yesterday.
Yeah,
was when you get out, you
try to
prison
do what you
or
was
rehab
doing before.
Bingo.
Yeah,
and that's how heroin used to take people out.
Yeah.
But now,
was
you get one bad batch, it's over.
And because I'm off the statement you made, right? And when I OD'd, luckily I was in a place where I got immediate help. People helped me. Ambulance came. I'm here.
Narcan?
So I made.
Did you get Narcan?
Yes. I was. I woke up in the hospital, right? And this is the thing right here, man. I still see this right now today. You know what I'm saying? No one's in the room but my father. And when I opened my eyes, it was like my eyes to his eyes. Right.
Oh, that's another
what,
movie scene. We're making your fucking movie.
No, I'm for real. And I think about that now. Like,
God,
and I mean,
hit me,
he
man.
was looking at me. You know what I'm saying? And to this day, man, I've never seen my father cry. I'm not saying that my dad doesn't cry. He's human, right? I said, I've never seen it.
Right.
I didn't see it that day. He didn't cry that day, but I saw pain, hurt in my dad's face. You know what I'm saying?
Worse.
That crushed me. You hear me? I mean,
I feel it.
It crushed me, man. And I knew I was like, I didn't get clean right then either, but I knew that I got to figure out something. I came to a point where it was, you going to prison for the rest of your life or you going to die. One or the other.
That's the end game.
Yeah.
Did you, like you said earlier, the wheels are turning earlier, right before, it's not just this aha moment and we go get clean, but when the wheels start turning, it's almost like you start realizing, I think, that we're fucking powerless to this shit,
man.
Because
without
you said,
knowing
you're not,
that's what it is,
right? You're not out saying I'm just going to go get high and fucking kick it and have a great time tonight, and that's not that ship sailed decades ago.
Yeah, that ship had been gone. It was just I
don't want to get sick.
I can't function. Well, you know what I'm saying? I can't do nothing, so.
When you were in even the last time, when you were in prison, did you ever work a program inside?
No.
I'm
So,
interested about
so speaking of Lawrence, right? Lawrence was at that time it was just opening, right? Lawrence is designed for a Supermax. That's how it's designed.
Oh, really?
Right? But they opened it because the people of that community didn't want a Supermax. They opened it as a medium, right? But we were locked down in this. I mean, like guys would come in there and they don't want to be there. So they would say, well, I got an enemy. Cause sometimes you got an enemy, they'll separate you or send you somewhere, send them. And people would say, don't worry about it. You'll never see them. This is how they had this.
Oh, fuck.
It's like sectioned off, right? So
like 23-hour a day shit?
Yes. 23 and 1 is what it was when I was there. No day rooms, none of that. You only came out your cell to go to chow or go to the gym, right? Or a religious service or something like that, right?
I join every religion. I'm a big Jesus guy, but I'd go to the Allah service, I'd go to the Jewish service, I'd go to the pagans or whatever the fuck to get out of that. I've done some work and I got in this job. One job took me into Bonne Terre, Missouri, where they into their ad seg.
Yeah.
And I thought they were hitting on me, but they were talking about there was a guy with me that was wearing a vest who had better hair than me, and they were after him. But they were yelling through their windows. At first, I was a little ego hurt, and then I was like, "Nah, it's best." But it was. I really realized it was the first time it hit me on that shit's fucked up.
Yeah,
that shit's. Yeah. I'm not Jakob siding with the prisoners here. I don't go get all crazy on me, but I'm just kidding, buddy. That shit is fucking inhumane. Just locking someone in a cage for 23 hours a day, man.
I can say,
how do you rehabilitate this? But I could go on and on.
So let me say that real quick. You talking about getting help before, right? So they had a 12-week drug class. You do the 12-week drug class, right? And you can get a transfer to a treatment joint with a treatment. You know what I'm saying?
Get your IRC.
So, no, treatment prison.
Got it.
Well, like Swick.
I know Jakob runs a show here.
Or Graham they had, treatment in there, right? So
you say Swick's the one over by the titty bars?
Yeah.
So
I take it, complete it, get my transfer, and go to Graham, right?
Okay.
So I get to Graham. Now, this is one of those, fake it till you fucking make it. I had no intentions on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get to Graham.
The means to an end.
And when you get in there, they have the rules and stuff that you are supposed to, learn and test or something on them within 2 weeks. Well, the guy that's like another fucking inmate who's like the house is one day pushing me. I've been there like 6 days to get it done. I'm like, man, get the fuck out of my face, right? And so it becomes a shout match, and the lieutenant's right there. They take me to SEG, and so I lasted like 6 days in the
Is Graham the one in the
treatment program?
Is Graham in Hillsborough?
Yeah, it's Hillsborough. Yeah, I lasted and they would tell you if you go down there, because they, you know, people go down there and deny treatment. They say if you go down there and fuck up, you coming back here. So now I go to say, I'm like, fuck, I'm going back to Lawrence. They come to say, it's like, put me in population. I was like, sweet, you know.
They when I was in Bonne Terre, we met with the warden, and this was a couple years ago, and I want to say October, maybe 22. They had 7, I think the number was 7 overdose fatalities in Bonne Terre in the month of October from fentanyl.
Yeah.
And we were like, how the fuck? And he's like, are you kidding me? He goes, remember when I told you we're 200 staff down because like being a CO got destroyed. It's a horrible job. And then COVID, nobody wanted to definitely be a CO. Yeah. And he said they're flying drones and dropping this shit in, staff's bringing it in. And it's not, it's hard. It's harder to almost not get high in places like that.
You know what, man? Prison was the one place that I have got high in prison before, but didn't like that was the one place where like I did not want to be high.
Really?
Like I don't want to be in it because I'm a get high, clean up type of guy and do it. You're moving around and I'm like, I'm in this box. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it wasn't really enticing to me. Like it's crazy how I would go to prison and wouldn't think about cigarettes or none of that, right? And it's
that is interesting.
For real. And as soon as I leave the gate, and my people would say, where do you want to go? The gas station. Go get I haven't had a cigarette in 9 months. Gas station. And people get a pack of cigarettes.
And you could get cigarettes in prison.
Yeah. Well, they took them out in 2008, but yeah, you can still smoke. Right. You know what I'm saying? I definitely wasn't paying $20 for a cigarette. So, you know what I'm saying? That wasn't happening. You know,
I figured that's what they cost now in Illinois. I stopped smoking when I got into.
No, I'm saying one cigarette.
Well, I understood. Yeah, I got it. I've heard they've gotten really expensive, but not that.
Yeah. So
it's a good business model.
But would get out, and it was because I never look. I was just an honest type of dude. Like I went to this. This is a fucked up reality for me that I look at now. I normalized, and I like to say this in a way that people that know. I normalized sleeping in a bathroom with another man. It was a part of life, right? I said that one time at a meeting, and motherfucker pulled me to the side like, fuck you mean sleeping in a bathroom? A cell, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? A jail cell. Right. A prison cell. That's a bathroom. Most bathrooms are bigger.
Right. And the shitter's right there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you know, and this is where we're cooking at, living at, washing dishes at. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I normalized that, though. Like, I'm telling y'all, and granted, the most time I ever did at one time was 2.5 years, right? A lot of times.
Straight?
Don't get me. Yeah, straight. Other than that, it was always like a year or less. Maybe before that, like 18 months, right? So, and in Illinois, when you get sentenced, you know you're out there because, you know, the 50% law and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, really?
So I know when, you know, and this is me. Like I knew I was getting in trouble in the same place, Centralia, Marion County.
Yeah.
They know me, I know them.
So this is all state programs.
Yeah, I never been to the feds.
Remember when Shannon was talking about on her episode that she did, her shit was federal.
Yeah.
And they never really knew what their out date was.
My son,
that would be
my son is in the feds right now.
Really?
Yeah. And but
sorry to hear that.
Hey, you know, it's part of like, you know, you gotta, you know, sometimes you gotta bump your head, you know. Good dude. He wasn't really, you know, he's gonna be all right. He'll be home soon.
Okay, good.
But, you know, I look at it and I'm like, what the fuck was normal about this? You know what I'm saying?
No shit.
Like, you know, and like, I would get locked up today, right? And get arraigned tomorrow. And within tomorrow and the next 30 days, I would already be coming to the state's attorney. I know, okay, my sentence carries 18 months, right? No, it carries 2 years, right? 3 years. Mm-hmm. I know I'm looking for 18 months, right? So I go in and I say, give me a year, I'll get out y'all hair right now, right? Well, we'll give you 2. Well, let's meet in the middle of 18. I already know in my head that that's what we played this game. It's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? So
this is the prosecutor, okay.
Yeah, I'm talking to, you know, I'm like,
because then if you go away, that they move on. Yeah,
they, you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't doing, like, honestly, you know, you say, you know, I faked myself out for years as having a fucking dealer's habit, right? What the fuck is that? You know what I mean? was like, I was just, but I never, it ain't like I was getting caught with ounces and brick. You know what I'm saying? I was, and the police know me. This is a small town. Like, I'm a drug addict. This is the one pet peeve I have about that whole system is not one time ever did that court system offer me help. They knew I was a drug addict. You know what I'm saying? There's no way around it. Every time I came to jail, I was dope sick. I'm a drug addict. You know what I'm saying? So and not one time ever was, drug court or, treat, none of that. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it was partially because of me. Who's to say that I would even did it, right? But it was never offered. You know what I mean? And it was never extended, so, who's to say I would have done it? But that's the one thing that I look back at. That's why I do what I do today, to let individuals know, you have a choice.
Sure.
You have an alternative. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, there is help out here for you. You know what I'm saying? And I deal a lot with people who kind of go through my footsteps. So,
nice.
But,
Is that you do through Amari?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm a peer specialist with Amari, which recently, last month, I became the associate director at Amari.
Nice. Congrats.
Yeah, congratulations.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is Amari a
RCO, Recovery Community Organization?
Okay, and they're local here. Is this
Madison and St. Clair County?
Okay,
so we do Madison and St. Clair County. All our services are free.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
How do you spell it?
AMARE.
Okay, Amari, and then you can look it up. Is there a Facebook page? And
and I just was just talking to the executive.
Because we're going to share all this shit on our.
I was just talking to the executive director earlier, and they're upgrading or redoing our website. So everything, she was like, I love it. So
awesome.
Everything's getting
cool. So we'll make sure we put Jeff anything we can do to pump this up on the notes because.
Amari NFP is what you look up. So
cool.
I think it's really cool. We hear even people that call IRC or will call me or reach out to one of us, and it's always, and it's a convenient excuse, but it's always I don't have the funds to go to treatment, and we figure it out. Like you do, we'll figure this out. There are. Stop. Like it's and I know I probably said it too, knowing that, I had insurance and I was, born on fucking second base or maybe third base compared to some people and had my old man had died and we lost a lot, but my mom would have paid for me to go to rehab. And I'm sure I used the excuse I didn't have enough money because I didn't, which was a lie. I'm sure I
just wasn't ready.
Bingo.
That's it right
100%.
there. I've had these conversations with Jakob a lot, being what
it's the number one thing we hear. It's a barrier.
That's what people hear.
And it's bullshit.
And I'm like, is this where you want to go?
Right.
Come talk to me. Mm-hmm. Let's figure something out.
Right.
If that's where you want to go, come talk to me.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
I've always heard it. And Eric said it once. If you're going to, you got how much you spending in a day on.
Yeah, that's his thing right there. That's his thing.
Yeah. Well, let's flip that. We'll figure out
Jakob
a plan.
too. And that's why I say.
And then you got skin in the game.
From the beginning, man, you sound like Eric. That's scary. That's scary.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah. But that's and that was when I first met them, that attraction with like I want to be involved. I want to continue to do what I do. Well, I love Amari. You know what I'm saying? What we do, I love it. But we need to be involved with this right here.
I love it. So you have an office here.
Yeah, I was about to say. So Tyrone has an office on site with us. So it's awesome. Amari office, but
here at IRC. That's awesome.
And they let me run around here. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think he was eating our dinner earlier.
Well,
there it is, right there.
I'm really glad you're here. I think it's important. It is without a doubt important. So let's go back to waking up, seeing your dad, and that when you overdosed, how old were you then?
2017.
So you're getting closer. What?
So what was that? 7 years ago? 8 years ago? 2017.
So you got sober in 19. So you're not quite there, but that moment.
That was a defining moment that, you know, I like it's, you know, the respect and love for my father, and to wake up. And at the time I'm staying at his house. So I didn't OD in his house. I was out on a pass. I OD'd somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? But I'm staying at his house and I'm telling him, you know, I'm not getting high.
Is this the only time?
Well, yeah, because now you're caught up with brought the streets into his house.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's the main rule your dad had.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, and to see that crush, you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, you know, but still at that moment, not having, like you were saying, still having those excuses not to do something. And honestly, not knowing what to do. You know,
sure.
I had never been 12-step. I had never been to a treatment. I was at that time, you know what I'm saying, in my 40s. I had never did none of that type of stuff.
When you were running, did you know anybody that had gotten, like, in your crew or in your so you've known people that have done it.
Yeah.
And that knew it was possible, just not how to.
Yeah. I seen it, you know what I'm saying? And some of the older guys from you know, some what we call our OGs, you know. But not even knowing how they did it, just knowing that their life had changed. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I was in Graham receiving one time and wrote NA.
Really?
Because in receiving, there is no movement. You're in this cell. Like, we're reading whatever the hell receiving? You put, that's where you come in and diagnostics. You come in, you're going to be in there anywhere from 30 days. Some people are in there for months until you go to where you're going. Right?
Sign where you're, your pod or whatever.
And while you're in there, you're not doing nothing. You're not going, you're going to read, if they slide that bag through there, you're going to read everything on that bag. You know what I mean? So I wrote in
to keep you from going fucking crazy.
To send me a big book. And you know, I was whatever they sent me.
They did?
Oh yeah,
cool.
And I read that book, but didn't know what the fuck I was reading. Right. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. I read it, you know, just because.
Jacob says that. I've heard you say that. Like, remember, you told me your sponsor said you're not. I didn't tell you to understand it. I told you to fucking read it.
Right, yeah,
and it's like a start.
And so I know now, like my first time going to treatment, and so my first time going to treatment. That's where I was at that point. Like, I never wanted to get fucking high again. Right. I was done. I did not want, it was fentanyl out here and I didn't want to get high.
And I keep hearing you say this, obviously because of the fentanyl, it scared you. That means you didn't want to die.
Fentanyl played,
you wanted to live.
Part of my story is fentanyl played a huge part in me surrendering because I feel like with old school heroin, I knew I was playing Russian roulette. Right. But I feel like with heroin, black tar, China white, or whatever, I was playing with one bullet in the gun.
And you feel like your limits a lot easier. Because like fentanyl is one of the main reasons I never relapsed. When I got out of treatment because I just don't know.
And you don't want to die.
Yeah.
And but with fentanyl, I realized now I was playing Russian roulette with 3, maybe 4 bullets.
Don't know how many bullets are in it.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure. That's what we tell me is Russian roulette with 5.
It doesn't matter the amount or none of that, you know, because that night I OD'd, the doctor told me that night, he was like, it was right around the time carfentanil was hitting the scene, you know, and he said, man, with this carfentanil, he was like, less than a grain of salt is deadly to the human body. He said, you could OD right here in our emergency room. We might not be able to bring you back. You know what I'm saying? So I was getting them signs.
Right, yeah.
You know, I just wasn't.
They should treat it like a chemical weapon.
Yeah. So my hiccup was, yes, I was getting high was not it, right? The lifestyle, right? For me. That's just what I've done, so dope, gang, fast life. You know what I'm saying? So the lifestyle. So when I went to treatment the first time, which was in 2018. First time I ever reached out and said, I need to do something, right?
Okay.
I went to treatment.
locally?
Yeah.
Okay.
Both times I've been to the same place.
All right.
Both times.
So you've done treatment. You went
like a year apart.
Okay.
You know, so when I got out that time, you know, my mind frame was not to get high, but I still had reservations, right? Of the lifestyle. Like I can get a few months under my belt,
right,
and I can hustle. You know, that's my mind frame, and I'm not being honest with nobody or telling people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know, people that I'm thinking who, you know, my people in the streets,
right.
You know, we all know how that turned out. You know, the first pack that I thought I could pick up. You know, and I think that's not a relapse at that point because I didn't have no recovery. I was going to meetings. I didn't have no recovery though. I wasn't working on nothing. I was going to meetings. I was going outpatient, but I wasn't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? So to me,
I need you to unpack this a little bit because this is important, I think, for people that are listening to your story. So you got out of treatment the first time, and you say you weren't doing nothing. You were still wanting to gangbang and fucking party and
the streets, the lifestyle.
And are we still in? Are you here in St. Louis now? Or are you?
No, I was in Alton.
Okay.
My sisters live in Alton, right? So I went. And so I said, I'll go. So I'm from Centralia, right? I've been in the St. Louis area since I was 15, 16. I went to Job Corps when I was 16.
Okay.
Right? So I've lived in St. Louis, but we're talking 45 minutes to an hour.
So you
drive.
spent a lot of spent a lot of your time in Alton?
Yeah. My sister's been in Alton 30, they've lived in Alton 30 years now. Okay. So all through the Metro East.
I got family from my cousins went to Alton High.
Yeah. My brother-in-law, we was just talking about with the basketball stuff. He's from, you know what I'm saying? All that's out of Alton.
Alton, I would go up to my cousins when I was in high school in Beverly East. One of the studs was a friend of mine. We'd go watch him play road games because he was that good. Ended up going to Carbondale and playing in the tournament. Stud dog. He's a good guy. We went up to Alton with my cousins, and Alton fucking crowd was rowdy, man. They were fucking nasty. I remember that. And I played hockey, and we'd get all the crowds were fucking nasty. But in Alton, at an Alton basketball game, they were like going after Stetson like he was a fucking enemy of war, man. It was. They learned about him and everything. It was. It was wild.
Play at that East Alton ice rink.
Got kicked out of that building more times than I can count.
Yeah.
I used to go there all the time.
Did you?
Yeah.
What for?
Just
because you were living up there. Yeah. Because you were.
That was the closest
Jerseyville,
yeah.
Ish.
But so going to the, you know, like I said, I never wanted to get high no more when I went to treatment in 2018, right? My fucked up way of thinking, you know, my unmanageability that I know now, you know, I got out and I was.
How long were you in
treatment?
Yeah.
At that time when I went, I think I was a little over 2 months. They were still They were still doing like 90 to 120 days. While I was in treatment that time is when the insurance company started cutting.
I wanted you out.
Cause they had to let me go. I remember one day they came in, they had to let a lot of us go that day. They completed successfully.
Sure.
But you know what I'm saying? And that's when I went to my sister in them house.
Okay.
You know, and I was working. Like I said, I was doing outpatient. I was going to meetings. You know what I'm saying? I was doing all this.
What were you
missing? I wasn't working it.
So there's a difference is what you're saying.
You know, I wasn't, I didn't have a sponsor. I wasn't looking for a sponsor. You know what I'm saying?
This is really important because there's a lot of folks that will say that it didn't work for me. I went to meetings.
Yeah.
I went to this. And it didn't work for me. And I hear that, and I'm definitely fucking empathetic. This isn't easy. It's hard.
Yeah.
But I always wonder, are you fucking working it? Like, are you are you going and just sitting there? Are you fucking putting in the work? And that's why I wanted you to unpack that, because I think that you know that more than anybody what the difference is. Like
you say, Jakob says, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I share this now when I'm in meetings. Is like, I'm pretty sure, you know, granted, there are some that have problem reading and stuff like that, and, you know, and I understand that, and I'm willing to help. But, you know, pretty much we all can read that book. You know what I'm saying? But when you get someone to take you through whatever book it is that you work, you know, big book, basic text, Buddha, whatever it is.
If I fucking tried to read the Bible on my own, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't even fucking want to be a Christian, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, well, I wouldn't even want to do this.
Of course, there would be things that pop out to you,
right?
But you wouldn't get like, you know,
it's somebody that's got wisdom.
When you start understanding the like spiritual principles that go along with certain things and stuff like that, you know. So I remember, so that what I wasn't doing, and I went back out. Right. And I was back out for about 6 months. And this is, so another thing with me that I always said was, I ain't fucking homeless. Right. 20 years I said that. Right. I ain't never been homeless. Right. But I was for 20 years bouncing from couch to couch. I never had nothing. You know what I mean?
That's interesting. But
last time I was outside, man, on, West Florissant in Chambers. Sleeping in
that's North City, St. Louis.
No, that's North County.
North County, yeah.
Ferguson.
Okay,
Ferguson. And I mean, sleeping in some apartments out there. I was in the hallways sleeping until the next morning and go. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow, you know.
That's starting to sound like rock bottom.
So when I when I went back, I finally made a phone call back to you. I said, look, I got to do something, right? And I went back. When I was like right around the corner from that treatment center that I went to, I told myself, this is no bullshit. I didn't say it out loud. I told myself, I'm going in this building. Now, me saying that I wasn't doing nothing didn't mean I wasn't hearing nothing. Mm-hmm. I just wasn't applying what I was hearing or taking it in, right? So the main thing I was hearing doing all that was honesty, right? You got to get honest. So, in that, when I was going back that time, I was like right around the corner from it. I said to myself, I'm going in this building totally honest. Whatever the fuck it is that I need to deal with, I'm willing to do that. You know, and that's how I've been since that day. And that was April 10th, 2019. You know, and it's, you know, it's so far working out for me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but that's why, and that's why understanding those that, you know, those of us around the tables, we understand when we say, you know, we understand the difference between a relapse and going back out. You know, to relapse, you got to have some. You got to have some recovery. You can hear it, but if you ain't working nothing, you don't have no recovery, right? And those, like you saying, individuals that like, because I do it all the time. I think me and Jakob was talking, like, you know how many people I want to choke every fucking day?
I'm telling you, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what the ain't you getting?
Right.
You know, but they got to get it.
We start wanting it more. We want it for them more than they want it for themselves at sometimes, because we know we know the power of this.
Yes,
like this life is fucking better.
But they're not going to get it. So let me get a quick story about. I got a couple different sponsors, right? But a quick story about. So my first sponsor, when I came out of treatment, I was in this area. This is how I know. You know, our mutual friend, right? I was going to the meetings around here and stuff. So this area, I got clean in this area right here. I'm not gonna say it's predominantly, but the most convenient was AA. You know what I'm saying? I was doing, you know.
And I heard a stat the other day. There's 800 AA meetings in like St. Louis area.
Yeah, and
a week.
And I'm speaking,
and that might
like
just be St. Louis,
this area, right?
Yeah.
The Belleville area, and I was lucky enough to get involved with a home group that wasn't so militant about the differences, right? We know how that could get, right? I respected the room. I respected the room. I knew what was going on, right? But my first sponsor, I never forget, man. And this is what I knew, like, and me and him are still good right now today. Is my guy. I love him, right? He said, open the book to the first page, right? First profound thing for me with the book, I'm telling you. And so I'm opening it and I'm going, like going to the first chapter, right? I'm going, he said, you're already doing what the fuck you want to do. I said, what? I told you the first page. And I was like, I am. He's like, the first page is blank on both sides for a reason. By design. I'm like, yeah, this is what you know. Now let's go to work. And I was like, wow. You know what I mean?
God damn, that's got me fired up.
I was like, wow, man. Like,
that reminds me of your story.
Yeah. And so you know, that's how I knew. You know what I'm saying? I started taking some direction, man.
What is it about? And I used to say, and maybe because my experience is, you know, I got sober at 30, but you know, how I pick on 20-year-olds, like people in their 20s. Like there's something in teenagers. We think we fucking. Does that make me a pussy?
No.
I feel like one.
No. I get
that
goosebumps.
Doesn't make you a pussy.
I don't want to cut you off, but I'm going to tell you, I get goosebumps when I'm around these tables we'll get to walk through here and see these youngsters.
Man.
With the courage to come in here.
I want to
they
go
don't
back
know.
in time, don't you?
Man, like I'd be so amped up about seeing a youngster. You know what I'm saying?
We do church groups here. I do a church group on Saturday nights at 6. And to that point, there's a lot of young, really young doing this. And then I think, fuck, it took me to 30 to get that much pain. And then I feel bad how much pain they've had to get here at 19, 20, 21.
Right.
But then, I go back and I'm like, fuck, man. I hear a colleague of mine's like, he's almost 50. And he's like, I wish I would have got one of my regrets is I didn't get a fucking financial planner when I was 23 and started putting some away. But I feel like that to your point, when I see the young kids here, and I'm so excited for them. But what I was going is like, there's something about, I don't know if it's stubborn. I don't know if it's like us in general as addicts that have this disease. We fucking think we know everything until we don't. And as soon as when we realize we don't know shit, and God gave us a fucking 2 ears and one mouth for a reason, like, and start listening, things do get better. And it's a burden to fucking know everything. It is a God fucking burden. And you see the kids get to that point. It's like, well, fuck, I do have a lot to learn. I don't know shit.
Yeah.
And it's liberating.
Even at our age.
It's humility.
Right,
it's like humbling. That's where, but like finally, like, fuck, that's just surrender. Right. I don't want to fucking know everything.
Yeah.
I need help.
Yes. That, for me, there it was right there, is one day I finally realized and reached out and said, I need fucking help. Like, I can't just go hide somewhere for 3 or 6 months and I need help. Mm-hmm. Like, there's something going on that I don't know what. I don't know, but I'm willing to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, help me, you know? So, and when I guess it's crazy, all the cliches, right? Oh, yeah. The willingness, the honesty, you know, but when I became willing.
And death, man.
And that's what I was going to with another sponsor. And so I had a sponsor in NA who is, and he won't mind me sharing, I'm not sharing no names or nothing, but he won't mind me sharing his story because this is part of his story and he shares it, right? We 30-something year partner. You know what I'm saying? He got clean before me. He's been clean. December, I think, will be 9 years or 10 years. One of them, he's going to kill me. But before he was my sponsor, right? I was still using. This was after I went to treatment the first time. He was clean, right? And
so you met him in that?
No, I already knew him, you know, but he knew what I had did. I went to treatment and stuff. Right. He is already clean, but he was still hustling the lifestyle.
Really?
I'll tell you about my hiccup was lifestyle. So
yeah,
I would be with him, right?
Right.
And I'm telling y'all because I've been to meet. He was working an honest program. He was going in these rooms and telling on himself. You know what I'm saying? And his sponsor was telling him. No, but I mean, his sponsor was telling like you got to work through. That's what you know what I'm saying. But and he ended up eventually. He ended up going to the feds clean. You know what I'm saying? He's home now. He's working. He works in treatment now. He's you know what I'm saying. He's in Missouri. So what is that? He just got his certification, wasn't it?
Which one, like MADAC or?
I think he got his MADAC or his CPA, CPS or something.
Yeah, that's what I was texting you about. A girl wanting to move back from Middle Missouri and looking for a certified peer support.
Yes, which CPS, is the same as what I got, but it's different. Yeah, but yeah.
It's just the Missouri State version of it.
Yes, but
that's a cool story. I mean,
in the midst of, I'm with him one day, right? Because he was looking out for me. I'm sick, right? So I told you I'm on West Florida in Chambers. I call him and I'm like, I'm fucked up. You know what I'm saying? He's like, at this time, he wouldn't drive in the county. He never, when we was young, he would never drive. He didn't have life. He wouldn't drive in the county, right? So he's like, meet me at West Florissant and Goodfella by 6:30, right?
Now we're in North City.
If you know, you know.
And I'm walking,
Right.
and I'm there, and I beat him, But it's crazy. He gives me some dough on that, right? And I'm talking, and he's like, "Put that in you," He takes me to a meeting. This is all by design. That's why he's like, "Meet me at 6:30." You know what I'm saying? But we ride, and I'm asking him because this is somebody that I know. We've been out here together doing this. I know what you're, how are you doing this? You know what I'm saying? And he's like, Ty, I'm just going to say this. When you make a decision to yourself to be done, you'll do whatever it takes to be done. Right? And I always said
another movie scene. Make a note.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, when I did that and made that decision,
Right.
like, the desire, I was sitting on the porch of a recovery house I was in one day, 3 or 4 months in, and just sat there and realized I didn't have no desire to go to the block.
So you met him at 6:30. He gave you medicine, a.k.a. heroin.
Yeah.
So you could get.
And we went to the 7 o'clock meeting.
And you made a 6 to 7 o'clock NA meeting.
Yes.
Fucking movie scene, man.
And they tell you every meeting, don't they? They say if you've used today, just don't say nothing.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Talk to somebody after
the meeting, right? And he knew what he was doing. He never told me that, and I didn't know. We pulled up at the meeting.
But he's right. He said to you, what he says right. When you're fucking done, you're done, man.
Yeah.
You're not done yet.
And it's my brother right now today, and I like he's a huge part of my recovery. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was one of those moments like,
fuck,
man. And when he sits down and listen to this, he's gonna be laughing because you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But man,
that's just something. It's crazy. I get that. Because you gotta, when you're done, you fully surrender and you're fucking done.
And when you,
and there's another cliche about sick and tired of being sick and tired. I mean,
yeah,
like it's cliche to some people, but I fucking know that God, it feeling and knowing that feeling and remembering it and respecting it is, knock on wood, why I'm still in active recovery and not, because I don't ever want to go back to that.
I second that.
Yeah, I mean,
I that feeling. You know what I mean? I get up in the mornings and my thing is like sitting on the porch. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and drinking coffee. I smoke blacks now and and understanding today that sense of peace that I have, and I tell people all the time, like I don't allow nothing or no one to break it. Now, I'm being honest with you. I'm human, so it gets shooken.
Sure, you're
a lot.
A human being.
But I'm grateful to be in a place where I can reach out to people now. I can, I have outlets to where I don't hold on to shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm grateful for that. But I don't, man, that peace, that people don't, especially those of us who I'm not just going to say any substance, but that heroin, the physicalness of it, like there's no way in the world I got up at 5:30 in the morning and sat down and drank a cup of coffee. I'm not doing that. Goddamn,
you got time for that?
I'm waiting for whoever it is I'm copping from to wake up. You know what I'm saying?
I'm thinking
debating,
about, obsessed about it. Right?
Waking them up. You know, like, and taking the cussing. You know what I mean? But just sit there on the porch.
God.
Like with a cup of coffee and a blank.
I tell people all the time that are, heading towards rock bottom or maybe there, prayerfully there, that the drug and the drink tell us that peace is not ever possible without it. And that's the fucking bullshit, man.
That's one, yeah.
It's what it does to our, but it's not only possible, it is fucking euphoria when it's better than any high when you can sit there and just be free and peaceful, and this shit is not in the driver's seat anymore of your life. No. Like
people,
I never thought that was possible when I was checking into rehab. I told the lady I want to get to a point where I can sit by the pool and have a few Coronas. Okay. And they're like, he ain't learned shit yet, but it's his first hour. Give me a break.
Yeah. So I never, when I decided to do something, I never thought I would never smoke weed again. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
you need it for your anxiety.
No. Marijuana wasn't my problem, you know?
Right, yeah.
You know? Heroin is, you know, that's, you know, coming in, like you say, you know, no shit, you know what I mean? Right. But
whiskey, Corona wasn't my problem. It was whiskey and cocaine.
See what I mean? So
I'm seeing it. I get you.
So, and at some point, I just realized that, you know, I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need it. And I'm being, you know, like I said, I'm honest today. I think, because you smell it everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Today,
oh, my God.
And I still be like, oh, that shit's really good. Right? But,
some of it. Not all of it.
Not all of it. But
that motherfucker needs a new dealer.
But I'm in a place where I know, you know, it's like, and I remember when I was first getting clean and people around me that love me, my nephews and them, you know, they do their thing. You know, it's like, man, Unc, you going to be all right? I'm like, look, let's get something clear right now. Like, you don't change your life for me. Right?
Right.
100%.
Like, my triggers are not your responsibility. That's mine. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you to, like, if I need to get out of here, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I don't need your permission. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. You know, but when I got to a place where I understood that once I realized that dope wasn't my fucking problem, I was my fucking problem. Then I knew that I don't need that shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Some people.
Yeah. When I realized that your fucking problem's in the mirror, you know, you know, those aha moments we have, right? Yeah. Aha. Like, yeah. You know,
in between the ears.
Yeah.
It's, it's hard at first, any type of looking inward, because I mean, I think for a while we've been doing whatever we can to not. So people I think that aren't like us may look inward from time to time, but I was doing my damnedest to not look inward for years.
Yeah.
So when I had to look in, there was a lot of work to do, but it's fucking worth it.
I didn't realize how many years. This is probably the first time I'm saying this too, that I just wanted to fucking fit in.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And all along, people loved me for who the fuck I was anyway.
Right.
I know that today. Like, you know, I get it, man.
You could have been a choir boy or a gangbanger. They didn't give a fuck.
People, like, it's a lot of young guys out there that I deal with that, you know, I got so many fucking nephews, you know, they all call me Unc. And I just, you know, that's how I respect, that's how I look at them. And they're like, you was always different. You know what I'm saying? Your level of, you know, was always different. Your mannerism, the way you carry, you know. And in my head, I'm like, I was just a fucking dolphin. You know what I'm saying? But they saw something different, you know. And it's like, I get so many times today, like, we've been saw your purpose. You know what I'm saying? It was just, you had to look in that fucking mirror. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't see it, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you would never saw yourself. Y'all sitting here having
insecure.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like today, man, and being in what I'm doing and sometimes sitting down with, you know, mayors or police chiefs and shit, it's like, fuck, you know, you know, I know that imposter syndrome is real, right?
Amen.
Because I'll be sitting in that room like, do I fucking belong here? You know what I'm saying? And then when the conversation starts going, I realize real quick, I'm right where the fuck I'm supposed to be because I'm the one y'all talking about. You know what I'm saying? Right. Who best to speak up on what we go through and what helps us than us? Amen. You know what I'm saying? So, but at first it's like, I mean, I was sitting by one police chief and I was telling him about like how I always get the bubble guts around the police and shit like that. And he was cracking up. You know, and so I mean, we should like before we get ready to leave, say, "Tell me that one more time."
So, as a part of your outreach is working with police chiefs and government folks and educating.
Yeah, especially now being in the position I'm in. Yeah, so
Talk about like a God full circle type of.
Sometimes I wonder, like, do they really know my background?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Don't run me.
Yeah, you know, it's like, damn, you know, but it's.
Have you met the guys in Swansea? Here, where the recovery center is,
the police chief,
Chief Blomberg, and them guys.
Yeah, I met them before this. Actually, we have been trying to speak with them about the program and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So, I was in recovery living in this area.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so, cool. So you've been doing
yeah.
It was it's a life-changing moment for me. The time we went to the town hall before we opened and.
I remember that.
Police
chief,
I
wasn't there, but that story of that town.
Well, the police chief got up and said, "These are not criminals. This is a disease." And now he went like back to write a thesis on addiction. And I mean, I was like,
but that's us,
right?
Changing the narrative.
Yeah,
that's us changing the stigma. You
know I mean, and you know what we were telling him, and I could see it. And what he actually told us is, you know. Each time his officer has to Narcan someone, that's a traumatic event to them.
For them.
And they're the ones on the front lines doing this. Firefighters, police officers are usually the first responders that are pumping Narcan. And he's seeing it. And then he's seeing the people that come to, and some of them are pissed that they're not high anymore. Like, he's like, this is
some of them.
Well, right. Yeah. You just fucking killed my buzz.
Yeah.
And he's like, this isn't just some fucking junkie. This isn't just some fucking criminal.
Yeah. This somebody's brother, somebody's father, somebody.
That's
you know what
fucking
I'm saying?
sick.
And when you can change that narrative.
Oh, it was like it was a life-changing experience
yeah,
for me.
Yeah,
and because of the work you're doing.
And I believe that because the type of work that I do, the boots on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I've had conversations with Jakob, and he's talked about his peer work and how profound the peer on peer is. Mm-hmm. Right. What I believe is now that is it. The what do they say? Evidence base is showing how peer on peer changes lives. It catches momentum with them now. The police chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? The nurses.
Let me tell you something.
They're real. The nurses, man, like.
Talking two professions that are not immune to this disease.
Yeah.
I will tell you that right now. Police, you know, first responders.
Yeah.
Servicemen and women, nurses.
Yeah.
This disease is runs rampant in those communities. So that's another thing. Like you know.
When I just made it, because we was talking about Ty earlier. Ty, let me tell you, man, Ty will forever and will always be a mentor to me.
And Ty is the founder of Amari?
Ty Beckel.
Beckel, okay. That's right.
He pushed for me to come.
I've yet to meet him. I got to meet him sometime.
But when he, like, because I had come in, you know, I had to get the background check and all that, right? And I was like, my background goes back to the 80s, you know, like no bull. And I didn't realize that till I got it. Like, damn, 87?
Page 1, page 2,
you know what I'm saying? And
just kept printing.
And
we'll run out of ink.
And there were some questions about it with, you know, the people because I was going through another organization, and he was like, "No, I want them. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, it's not. This is why I want them.
Right.
This right here is why." Sure. And they was looking, and he was like, "No, that is why." You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
And I was like, so you know, because it's I know, like, we all we're able to reach different. It's people that you can reach that I can't, and it's people that I can reach but we know how to bounce off each other.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
I can imagine that.
Yeah, you know, because when that's the thing is, I told you I've been to prison eight times, right? Each time they more than likely had to do a drug assessment, right? how many times do you think that they referred me to treatment? 0.
That's what. Yeah, I was gonna. You said earlier that did not once.
But in that part of it, that was on me because that was after prison. So parole sent me to a drug assessment. Right?
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But in a drug assessment, we know what to tell that individual without lived experience.
Right. Not to manipulate it.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Versus
sure. You've been doing it.
Versus somebody sitting down with me and I'm like,
out on it.
Come on, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not here. Come on, man. You know, when
that's
I've done drug assessments high.
Yeah.
And you've been told you don't need no, you know what I'm saying? Because I know what to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
We're master manipulators, you know. We get
100%.
Yeah, you know. So, but me and you sitting down with each other, it's the genuine feel of relatability.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And that opens up a conversation for me to be able to get someone to, because I don't knock the professionals. Because it was a professional without lived experience as far as using, but as I found out later, lived experience with family members, but that opened up my eyes to shit that I didn't realize I was dealing with.
I talk about him almost every episode about old Chazzy, and he's never had a drink or a drug in his life, but he's one of the wisest spirituality and mental health professionals I know, and he started doing work at SWIC Correctional, that's what I said earlier, one by Larry Flint's. Never been there. In case my wife's listening. No, I'm kidding. I almost married a girl from there. Long story.
I never liked Larry Flint's. It was too bougie.
It's a little bougie, but
I wanted to go where they
you ever go to Wise Guys?
I wanted to go where they had bullet holes in their booty.
Well, fentanyl fucked up Roxy's. It was a big fentanyl outbreak. You remember that?
I was in Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's where Roxy's was, and fentanyl fucked it up.
Yeah.
The shower dance, some people started falling out in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Talk about a buzzkill. Yeah. But Chaz, I don't know what the fuck he's doing back there, but God bless him. He's our technical resource.
Unplug that phone.
Oh, you're good.
It's good now.
He did work there. It did some treatment program stuff and still goes on, speaks about addiction, and he'll be the first one to say, you can learn and listen from me, but you have to have that peer on peer community of people that get it.
Even around here, I think that's what makes them so successful. Mm-hmm. Is the peer on peer interaction and
the experience we have here.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
It's a different vibe around here versus being in other, facilities.
The treatment center I went into, granted, there's a lot of things we do that are, and this was 11 and a half years ago, but it's closed now. It felt like it was an institution. Food was dog shit. And the food is one of the best things we got going here. That's a shout out to Chef Sarah.
Yeah, I got a plate right there.
Right. I've been smelling this pot roast the whole fucking thing. I'm about ready to take a bite. But you told me that's for your wife, so I don't want to piss her off.
That's mainly where I catch Jakob at in the kitchen.
I'm sure.
I start drinking lunch. I'm working.
Yeah,
but since I met Jakob and the whole team here that has so much lived experience, and I see it move mountains. I almost said move needles, but that would have been a bad pun. Move mountains for clients that there can be relatable to, like you said, to know what they're going through and how they're feeling. Let's talk about your flyer for Rockin for Recovery. You brought that, and I don't know if the cameras are getting it or not.
Hold it up right here.
When is that?
Hold it up.
September 20th?
September 20th, Saturday, 1 to 6.
I might be in Chicago.
Yeah, can you hold it up there?
So that's food trucks.
I think this is the 4th or 5th.
6th annual.
6th annual? No.
Same thing, yeah.
Edit that part. Carson, you didn't hear that. But it's just a celebration, a community celebration. It's an appreciation, right? And
the thought
the community together, involve them. That's also working on the stigma, right? It's family friendly. We have bounce houses,
bunch of kid stuff,
face painting and all that.
Awesome.
3 to 4 bands. We have a couple speakers. You can see all the sponsors. That has grown every year. You know what I'm saying?
Oxford House.
We have resource booths and vendors. So y'all will be out there. You know what I'm saying? Like we just like fellowship. You know what I mean?
We should do a Pot of Sodas booth. I think I might be in Chicago on the 20th.
Yeah.
Like last year, I think your wife drained my wallet at her booth.
Good woman.
No, that was my daughter.
Your daughter. That's who that was. Your daughter.
Your future wife.
Yeah.
15
cups coming over. They're nice. We still use those cups all the time. It's nice.
So you've mentioned you have a wife and then a son and a daughter.
I have. So
if you want to go down the rabbit hole.
No. So I love it. 3, 5, 6 kids.
Okay.
So, and I'm counting like that because I have 3 biological kids.
Gotcha.
But, my wife's son and my daughter's 2 youngest, and my wife's her nephew's son. Those are our kids. That's my kid. I'm not that guy. I don't use the step word or none of that. Right?
Italians don't either. It's uncle
and it's
or
yeah. And it's like, you've been in my life. That's my kid. You know what I'm saying? That's my and I'm there for him. You know,
for you.
And I have 3 grandbabies now. Just had one within.
Congrats.
I think today or tomorrow will be 1 month. My wife is my oldest daughter's. I love you, baby. My oldest daughter's.
Shout out.
Mom.
Okay.
My oldest daughter is 29. So think about this.
I'm already.
In the midst of us being together and that happened, I was in my heyday. I was 22 years old.
I was gonna ask, is this a gal you met in a different life, or did you know her?
I was in these streets at this time. Like I did.
So your wife's
I
an
was
angel.
hustling in.
She's
you know
an
what I'm saying? My wife has never done the streets. None of, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and she put up with you.
My wife would not back then. She wasn't my wife back then, but back then when we were together, my wife would not even come to the hood to pick me up. You better get your ass in a taxi. You know what I'm saying? Like, when she hears this, she's gonna laugh.
Classes, or
she's a teacher. My wife is a teacher. She teaches pre-K. But what I'm gonna say, my wife. So when we had our daughter, we were always friends. My wife has always been my friend. My wife knows my story. I know her story. My wife has never, not once, kept my baby. I never had baby mama problems. I can tell you that now. Like my kids' mothers have
would
always
she say
allowed
that
me
she
to
had?
be a part.
Would she say that she had baby daddy problems?
I would say that she was, no, because it's crazy, man. My wife is. So at the time we were together, and I've said this to her, so it's not me. I said at the time back then, I was not in love with my wife. I was 22 years old. I was in the streets. I was, you know what I'm saying? I cared about her.
Sure.
We were doing what we were doing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We had our daughter, you know, and I was still in the streets. I was still running with my guys. She wasn't going for that. My wife, that's what you're going to do. You ain't going to do it here. You know what I'm saying? That's how she is. And she stands on that, right? So it's funny how you're saying about, and we've been friends, like all the times I've been to prison, it was one number that I could always call. My wife.
She's a special gal.
And it was from that time to us getting back together, I like to call our courting period. Because we had those conversations, we had that friendship, right?
Sure.
And you know, she always encouraged me to do it. She never fussed at me about not having money or, you know, she just, her biggest thing was spending time with our daughter, right?
Fair.
And so in the time, so we got back together during COVID.
Oh.
So and on the lockdown, right? So
you're a year sober.
I'm going to her house, and she's sitting inside the screen door, and I'm sitting outside.
Nice.
She won't even let me in.
Okay, I'm
sitting on the porch, and we're talking through the screen door. You know what I mean? You know, but we're continuing. Like and I'm riding the bus, man. I'm riding the bus over there from Belleville, and we, you know what I mean? And gradually,
and where she
let me come into no, she's in St. Louis.
Okay.
We live in St. Louis, so she let me come into the little couch that's right there by the door.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? So it gradually got a little more and more, right? But I think we were like 6 months in, and hanging out and all that, and I said, look, hey. We don't need to spend the next 2 years courting, right? Like we've been doing that for the last 25. You know what I mean? We just celebrated 3 years.
Congratulations.
On the 4th.
Nice.
Well, we've been back together, I want to say 5 since like 2020,
sure.
right? So I said, we've been doing that. You want to marry me? You know what I'm saying? So,
all right.
And that's how,
it's like a business conversation.
Yeah. It's just, look, we ain't gonna, I'm not,
another movie.
I'm not looking, I'm not playing games or we gonna do this. Sure. And she told me, yeah, she came on and that's my best friend. You know what I'm saying? And so what I was saying in that time, that 25 years, I grew to love the person that she is. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I was able to know, and she knew me, and she accepted me for all that bullshit.
What's your daughter think of that? She thought
at first my daughter, because let me tell you, me and my daughter, I got one son. My oldest is my son. My 2 daughters, 3 girls, and the rest of. But my daughters, like they fucking have me wrapped around everything. You know what I'm saying? Well, my oldest daughter at the time, though, because let me say. We never really understand the hurt we put on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like me and my kids my kids know me. We've always had relationships. You know what I'm saying? We've always, but connections were different, right? And my daughter like I said, at the time me and her mom getting back together, she was 25.
Yeah.
Through her high school year, what I learned now, right, is those moments that she might not have said it, but she really wanted me there. You know what I'm saying? That I missed, And so my daughter had her not her problems, her hurt and all that, right?
Sure.
And so when me and her mom was getting back together, she didn't know what to feel about it, right? Mm-hmm. And she also at the same time was dealing with me getting my shit together, right? And her mama was telling her, you need to talk to your dad. Now we communicated. It's not that she shut me out, but we didn't have the bond we have right now today.
Took some work.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But, when today I get phone calls out the blue of, Daddy, what you doing? It's like, what do you want? You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I'm just calling you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
you work hard to get there, right?
I had to tell her mom. I used to tell her mom back then. It's like, no, don't do that. Don't force her to. She deserves to feel the way she feels. She has a process too, right? And that's another one of those of not having to do a verbal amends, right? It was my actions. Mm-hmm. She was, because we talk about it now. You know what I'm saying? That she was, and she told me when I just celebrated the 6 years, she was like, "These last 6 years, fucking amazing." You know what I'm saying? So I know, and what I learned in my
best process, 6 years of your life.
Yes, and what I learned in my process is that, like I told you, I've always been. This is how I look at it. I've always been a part of my kids' life, always, right? But what I am today is present in their life. And there's a difference. You know what I'm saying? And I want it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's
what fills your whole fucking cup, man. And when we're using an active addiction, it robs us of that and makes us think we don't even want that. And it's such a fucking lie.
And it makes them, now I understand how it makes them think that we don't want that. I'm not going to say that we don't want that.
It's
that we don't.
No, it's what it does.
We put everything else below this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not that we don't want that, because I love my fucking kids, right?
Well, right?
You know, one of the things I told myself that now I know being clean, that I don't even know if I would have though, is that the only thing back then that would have made me stop using was just say, for instance, a DCFS case. And they said, you're going to get clean or these kids are going into the system. I used to tell myself I'm getting clean that day, right? But now being clean, was that enough?
Mm-mm.
You see what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
You know, and seeing this play out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's what I used to tell myself.
It is a fucking that shit is it's so powerful. It's why it takes over our mind, body, and soul, man.
But my kids, man, I have my grandson. Well, I picked him up. He went over his auntie and them house, man. Like, we was in the truck yesterday, man, and my grandson's 6, right? He'll be 7, and I said something. He was like, "Cut the cap, Grandpa."
That's funny. I know what that means. I got an 11-year-old.
Who are you talking to?
You know, you're talking shit.
Yeah, but
I love it.
It's man.
They got this whole new language. These kids.
I
got a cheat sheet.
I love it, man. I love it.
My 11-year-old. I'm like, what the fuck did you just say to me?
Yeah.
Really skibbity? What the fuck does that mean?
You know, I've been at a lot of fucked up shit, man. My addiction took me through a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? I used hard.
You're a good heroin user.
For a good 20 years, right?
It's a long time. That exceeds life expectancy.
20 years. And I believe today a lot that was, because when I started getting clean and going to, I just knew something was going to be fucked up when I went to the doctor, right?
Afraid they'll look under the hood.
And pretty good. And so far, I'm in pretty good shape, right? But 20-something years, man, of doing that normally. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was just accepting that this is what it is. You know? And I, like, when I tell people that I work with, like, if you heard it or you done it, I was involved. I've done it. I've seen all this street stuff you talk about, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, in the 90s, man, you know, I ran dope back from California on the plane. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was one of my hustles, you know? So I've done it. I've been involved. I've been around, you know? And to get to do what I do today, I now understand that was the journey for me to take to do what I do today, you know? But it was rough and things got strenuous, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, it got, you know, man, at the end there, woo-wee, man. But I knew, one thing I knew, like, prison, like, I can't, that last time in prison, I was looking around and I was like, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not it, man. Like, what's going on? But it's so.
And it wasn't too late yet.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a plan, right? It was a plan for me, you know?
Yeah. It's like, you hear someone that's a heroin user for 20 years is
never.
It's rare because usually people don't live that long in an active addiction to heroin.
Yeah. Never.
Or they end up in prison for life. Like, not for 18 months. That shit takes people down really
dark alleys.
Right.
And that's why I say, you know, some of the shit that I never got caught for.
Yeah.
You know
right.
Yeah.
Got you.
But, and I never was an IV user either.
Really?
Yeah. Never. It was taboo for our little clique. Like, made a pack at the beginning. Now, a couple of them did go, you know what I'm saying? But most of us, like, never, you know.
Just snort it?
Yep. Yep. And I always say, I think Jakob, like, doing those times in prison was my clean out. Those were my treatment times. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't doing treatment, but it was during those times I wasn't using. You see what I'm saying? So I was getting breaks, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
And eating, you know?
Right.
Like, like, you know, eating 3 square meals and eating, you know? Yeah.
Actually probably sleeping.
Yeah.
Like, exactly. Actually sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, my mom would say, you know, my mom used to say, I'll call her, and, you know, she knows it's a jail call, and she was like, I can go to sleep tonight. And it would piss me the fuck off. I'm like, what do you mean you can go to sleep tonight? You know what I mean? But now I get it. Being a parent, I get it. You know what I'm saying?
My mom said this. Yeah. Her first night of good sleep in 2 years was when the first night of rehab.
Yeah.
She wasn't going to get a call.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy, ain't it?
So I'm like, yeah. And then now I know what a good night's sleep is like, because I wasn't having them either.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's I fucking treasure it. I love it, man. How can people, Ty? How can people reach out to you or to Amari if they need they just want to connect? What is it? I know it's AmariNFP.com.
618-331-5. Oh man, I'm gonna get in trouble. 5909 is the main number. My number though is 618-331-6408. Email thill@AmariNFP.com.
And we'll put all that on the notes.
Yeah.
And in Europe, you still NA is your program,
Yes.
And that's your program too, right?
Yes.
Do you guys
smart guys? That's what.
Yeah, and I do a lot of like I said, I got clean here in Belleville, right?
I need somebody to start an NA meeting for me in October for every Wednesday night. How do I get that started? At our church.
That probably would be a Jakob question. Yeah.
I was afraid you were going to say that. Do you want to start?
I've never been.
Do you want to start it?
I've never been involved.
Palmer's way of trying to get somebody that's starting a meeting for him.
I'm trying to see if Ty wants to start a meeting on Wednesday night.
I mean, I'll be willing to do what we got. I'll have to talk to Jakob too. I've never been involved in starting a meeting somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to say the wrong.
We're
things.
opening a recovery church, Jesus-based, authentic shit for addicts, alcoholics, loved ones, spiritual rebels, and refugees, and in Maplewood. First every Wednesday night, and it's going to be it'll be like a church service from 6 to 7, but like authentic as fuck. I'm going to try to give a little message and then do a testimony every night. Not trying to plug this shit. I'm just trying to recruit here. And then but here from 7 to 8, we're going to offer an AA meeting, an NA meeting, and an ACA meeting. And then we're writing curriculum for our own Jesus-based 12-step meetings. But
we'll make sure to stay in
we got to talk.
Because and
if you're in the city, we're in Maplewood.
My recovery is in the city.
Awesome.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, and I also want to make sure people know we're there because it's a gap that needs to be filled. But it's I got an AA right now. I need some help finding. Because we want to offer it. We want to say if you guys are here, and we once a month we'll have pizza, grab a slice, go have a cig, and then there's a meeting in room 4, 5, and 6. These are AA and A, and choose your meeting. Separate. Has nothing to do with our church, but we wanted to. It's in the same
thing.
There. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's cool.
So, and I've heard people, and I'm Megan. I'm not shitting on AA. I love AA. That's our girl. But I've heard people tell me that they're like, Chris, something about you. I think you'd like NA better. I've heard that, and it's not just from him. AA.
I never said that to him, but
no, he didn't.
He never said that.
He doesn't want me to be a part of AA,
Chris.
No,
I did cocaine too.
Look,
but I've heard people. I've heard alcoholics. That's my point I'm trying to make. I've heard alcoholics that will go to NA and it's finding the right group, right? And
I got started in AA.
Yeah.
When I took my recovery seriously, I was in AA, right? And I learned this the other day, not a few weeks ago, Jakob. Someone was sharing, and they were sharing about, and this is the thing. So we got to understand, this ain't the days of Dr. Bob, and you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Things have evolved, right?
Okay.
Back then, it was mainly men, right? But they were sharing, and you'll get in a meeting and someone's sharing in one program or the other, and they say the other, the liquid, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, really?
But this lady said Alcoholics Anonymous, and she said, I don't say the other program because nowhere in the basic text does it say the other program. Mm-hmm. It says Alcoholics Anonymous. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So language is important. I mean, everything birthed from that.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
All these 12 steps birth from that.
From A.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, and even in the AA book, in the Dr. Bob's opinion, I think, I used to point this out in meetings. Some of the old timers get mad. They'd be talking about, don't talk about that shit in here. And I was like, Dr. Bob himself was talking about.
Old timers.
He said this is for alcoholics and drug addicts. It's in the opinion. You see what I'm saying?
There is a section of fanatical hardcore AAers.
Both sides.
Well, and I generalize them as older. They're usually older, like white males that
stuck in their ways.
That AA is the only way, and that was like counter to their fucking literature that it's not the only way, and it pisses me off a little bit. They save a lot of lives, but there's some people that are humans fuck shit up. You know that's not how it was supposed to be. It's not the only way. Yeah. There's multiple ways. In fact, I'd say to go to both of them if you need to.
How I knew it wasn't just because I was a heroin addict that I knew NA was my program. It's when I began to understand that I was powerless over my addiction and not addictions.
Right.
See, that's the key thing.
That's a Jakob. That's no S. Right.
I was powerless over my addiction. Addiction is everything.
That's funny. We just had this conversation about, Ashley was saying, why are we saying this ministry you're doing is for alcoholics and addicts? Aren't they say? I go, yeah, you sound like a clinician. You sound like Jakob, is what I said. And I agree.
That's not a clinician thing.
Well, that's not a clinician thing.
Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm fucking giving you dap, prick.
Dap me up right.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. So, but the reason I know you guys are right, and I believe that. What I'm afraid of is because I think there are people who say, oh, it's for addicts. I'm not an addict. I'm just an alcoholic. And I kind of chirp my alcoholic brethren more. But I want to I agree with that, but we're saying both because, and I could be wrong, but I feel that everybody, there's no weaseling their way out of it. This is a place for me.
There's a bowl for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what works for somebody. Sure. See, that's why for me, especially in doing what I do in my job. Yeah. You know, one thing about me, when I got that badge on, that's not my recovery. That's someone else's recovery. That's not my recovery, right? My recovery is when I take that off and I go to my.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what works for me. When I have that badge on, I'm trying to find out what is working for you.
Got it.
And how can I become a cheerleader for you? Okay. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm not caught up in, if you ain't doing it this way, you know what I'm saying? Like, who the fuck am I? You know, right. He like, yeah, you know right. where I come from? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so, you know, and that's the thing about it that it's getting better now. Mm-hmm. But I also respect like even in NA, you know what I respect that when I came around, it's still today, like my sponsorship tree. I'm from the school of shut the fuck up and listen. Right. You know what I'm saying? I love that. I'm from the school of you don't know shit. You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna put that on a t-shirt.
If we want to know about getting high, we'll call on you because you don't know shit about staying clean.
Amen.
That's where I'm from.
Right.
You know, and I respect that. You know what I'm saying? But that don't work for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I can adjust to what works for you if it's working the right way. I'm not gonna okay no bullshit.
Yeah. You
see what I'm saying? That is what I'm not gonna do.
Some people respond like I grew up playing hockey my whole life, and I responded to the coach that would fire a puck at my head. Some kids
see what I mean?
Some kids needed a little bit better, more hand jobby approach.
For those of us who have kids, you understand that each kid is a different personality.
100%.
You got to deal with each kid separately.
And my biggest challenge of being a parent is trying to do exactly how my old man and my son's adopted. So it's not a blood, like it should be even more evident to me that may not work for him.
Yeah.
Because I'm copying I'm not going to say it online, but I almost said that my old man wasn't perfect, but I can't say that because I'll give my mom a big fucking head.
I'm going to say he wasn't. None of us.
That's my dog.
I just told my daughter and her son's father yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just had their baby. I'm like, that little motherfucker, my grandson didn't come out with instructions. You know what I'm saying? This is on the job. This is on the job learning
every day.
You know what I mean? Like this shit is going to go as you go. There's some things that you're going to take that you got from me, and there's some things that you're going to create on your own.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because this is your child.
And learn from my mistakes. Like I hope Charlie, I've heard this too from the pastor. He said that you eat the fish and spit out the bones. Like we're not perfect, so don't. take the good shit I did and then leave back the shit I fucked up when you're parenting. Yeah, I love that.
I understand now.
Tyrone said, "I'm from the school of shut the fuck up." I love it.
Yeah, like they told me about, like they told me about, and like my sponsor, man, I love you, bro, because he's gonna listen to it. I love you, bro. I love you. But
Jeff, we're gonna have to make sure that's like a real. I love you.
Yeah, but he's like, if I call him right now or something, it's like, let's get to the exact nature. Like, that's not what the fuck I want to talk about right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But that's how he sponsored. Sure. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's how, like, we're sponsored out the book. You know what I'm saying? We share out the book. We give our experience of what we're sharing off of out the book. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what, but we can all sit here and read the same paragraph and get a different understanding from that paragraph. Right. And that doesn't mean that each one has a wrong.
Right.
But we all got a different outlook of life. That's where I think it comes in of what we do. Right. Where we reach different people.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? We reach different people because we all got, I don't want to live in a world. I don't want to be married to somebody or none of that who agrees with all my bullshit.
Like boring.
You know what I mean? Right.
Trust me, I'm not in that marriage.
Yeah, me either.
Me either. You know what I'm saying? Me, I love you, babe. But that's, and so that's what, I knew. And then for both programs, though, what brought me in the rooms and kept me coming around in the beginning was tradition 3. And Megan knows this. I've said this to her. That was it. That's all I heard in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? The only requirement for membership was a desire. And for once in my life, I didn't have to sign no paper. I didn't have to agree to do this. I just had to have a desire to do something different. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
And it finally got it. Yeah.
You see what I mean? And people accepted that I wasn't perfect, And when we sit in these rooms, like, I could say, damn, that wasn't just me.
No, it's like, validating. I know that's a clinical term, and Jakob will make fun of me for saying it, but it is. And to your point, one of the things you yourself have to accept you're not perfect. That's the biggest. Yeah. Man, I appreciate this so much. I'm so grateful for your time. I can't wait to grow in friendship. I feel like fucking known you my whole life, and this is going to be awesome. Thanks for being here at IRC too. And
I'm glad y'all didn't dig into the criminal aspect. I was
started.
I was sitting here trying to wonder, statute of limitation all the way up.
Hey man, you gotta save something for your second appearance.
I'm good. Okay.
Yeah, right. And we're gonna get some defense attorneys to sponsor the podcast here pretty soon. So we'll run it past them.
Yeah, man. But anybody, anybody out there, what I'm saying, don't got nothing to do on Saturday, September 20th. You know what I'm saying? 1 to 6 p.m. Come out and check us out at, what is that?
In Bethalto.
Bethalto Park.
We'll share it,
1
post
to
it
6.
On social.
Yeah, they're going to share it. You want to, again, Amari, NFP, Tyrone, if you need to get,
there's a Facebook page, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll share that too. And you're on social media? They can reach out? Awesome.
Ty Hill. You know what I'm saying?
The Rams drafted a Ty Hill.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was a bad draft pick.
Yeah.
It's not the name.
I gotta.
They overreached on his ass.
And I gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm so proud of him.
You got to.
And y'all, I know that y'all more than likely heard about him. He came out of Belleville, Althoff. De'Aaron Hill Jr., who's in Oregon.
Oh yeah,
true freshman.
Yeah,
it's my nephew. Kicking ass.
He was breaking records at Althoff last year.
Yeah,
or two. He's a freshman this year, right?
Yeah. Freshman at Oregon. Yeah,
they just put up 69 on Oklahoma State.
And he got his first touchdown that game. His first collegiate touchdown.
Crusader proud. Yeah, I love it. He's going to get that NIL bag, I hope.
Good dude, man. Oh. Good dude. I just love seeing him happy, man, and doing something.
This is so fucking cool. I'm a college football nerd, ILL. Illini whoop some ass, and Duke. But yeah, Oregon beat Oklahoma State 69-3.
Yeah, they said that their coach shouldn't have been talking shit about their coach. Yeah.
What?
You out of here?
Did you lose money on that game?
No, I got work stuff popping off. So
every day.
Then you say you're in it 20 times.
You're barely here.
Illinois does not play Oregon this year.
To hear that one, Yeah.
What do you say?
As long as Chris heard it, that's all that matters.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, I didn't hear it, man. I really.
What did you say?
I want one of them coffee mugs though.
Take it. Take one.
We got one.
I really appreciate this though.
We got to order some more.
I actually it was Jakob and Eric was in there meeting or something, and I was like, man, look, I got to get on there.
Yeah, I'm so glad.
He sent me a text like, what are you doing, September 8th? I was like, yes. Because I catch y'all.
Thanks.
You know,
Thanks. We want to start, tell people about it because we really want, soon we're going to start doing more than just Monday nights. We got to start building this thing up and make a movement, man, because it's not a regional thing. This is a nationwide fucking global disease. So
that's right.
We're ready, baby.
Yeah.
Come on more.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, man.
Well, hey, as long as I don't have nothing scheduled, if y'all, I'll come on and just bullshit with y'all when y'all do it. The last episode of bullshitting each other.
That's what we got to.
Episode. Come on.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That'd be fun, yeah.
I'd love to have you. I mean it. Open door policy.
Thanks for having me, man. I hope, anything I said could help somebody.
It will.
You know what I'm saying? And if you're struggling with anything, man, reach out to me. We can have a conversation. Let's open it up, man. I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy who wants to say we're doing this and we do it. No, if somebody can help you better than I can, believe me, promise me, I'll take you there.
Tyrone, God bless you, man. I appreciate it so much. Thanks again, everybody. Thanks, brother. Let us pray.